Sometimes I think Yoko Taro has a roulette wheel in his office that he spins whenever he wants to pick a genre to tell his story through. You've seen hack and slash, bullet hell, text-based adventure, and MMO, but are you ready for gacha with side-scrolling elements and text-based adventure mobile game? I hope so, because NieR Reincarnation is exactly that. If you're thinking, yes, I understand some of those words. A gacha is a game, usually mobile-based, that lets you spend real money to roll, similar to a loot box system, except instead of weapon skins and whatnot, it's for the playable characters themselves. The name comes from those little toy vending machine thingies where you stick in a coin and then twist the knob, which in Japan are called gachapon, because apparently they sound like they go gachapon. Popular examples are Fate Grand Order, Arknights, and Genshin Impact. I've dabbled a bit in FGO myself, so this wasn't too bad of a plunge for me. But if you're not a gacha fan, this is basically Dark Apocalypse all over again. So, without further ado, let's get into NieR Reincarnation. The game takes place in an area simply known as the Cage, a series of towers and dungeons at some point in the future. A girl, simply known as the Girl of Light, awakens on a stone floor with no voice and no memories. She's greeted by a strange being calling itself Mama, a little ghost-like being, not at all designed to be a mascot. Mama leads the girl to a strange shadowy figure called a black scarecrow, and tells the girl that she must awaken the memories within it to restore her own. The first story contained within the scarecrow is a series of 4 memories that follows 3 different characters through a wasteland. The first memory follows a silent man named Dimas and a youth named Leon. The two travel to a dilapidated town where they run into bounty hunters. As the bounty hunters confront the two, a swarm of blackbirds appear and influence the bounty hunter, who shoots and kills the two. Mama interrupts the memory and states that these birds are the true enemy, who have warped the nature of the story. The memory rewinds, and this time the silent man and the youth defeat the shadows and then the bounty hunters. Dimas asks Leon if he's alright, referring to him as my prince. The youth states that he isn't a prince anymore. The first memory over, we return to the cage, where the black scarecrow is now white, and Mama informs the girl that she must cleanse the memories of the darkness within. They travel through the cage to the next scarecrow. On the way, Mama muses, wondering what the origin of the cage could possibly be. They arrive at the second scarecrow, and the next memory begins. The second memory follows a woman with an artificial arm and leg, searching for information at a bar. Her name in the Japanese version is Franlise, but in the English localization it seems that they've changed her name to Gale. She's mostly referred to as Gishi no Karyudo, which basically just means hunter of prosthetic limbs or prosthetic hunter, so we'll just call her that. She appears to be a bounty hunter, and after getting a lead, she heads out of the bar. A man tries to rob her and she takes him down instantly. The narration stating that the origin of her strength is her vengeful heart. The second scarecrow now cleansed, the girl and Mama head deeper into the cage. Mama offers to explain more about the cage, but all she can provide is that it's mysterious and no one knows anything about it. Insightful. The third memory begins. Dimas emerges from a derelict church in search of food. He finds some and brings it back to the prince. The youth looks sickly and frail. He tries to hand the prince some food, but the boy is too weak to even move his arms to receive it. Despite this, the youth smiles through the pain. In the fourth memory, the prosthetic hunter travels through the forest and to the ruins of the dilapidated church. There she finds the silent man and the remains of the youth. She notes that Dimas is a mechanical soldier. The soldier is rusted and barely sentient anymore, and he attacks the hunter as she approaches. The hunter is victorious, and she checks the mechanical soldier's memories. The soldier and the youth had been on the run from their former kingdom when the youth had been struck by disease. After the youth died, the mechanical soldier had remained by his side for over 100 years as the church crumbled around them. The hunter makes them graves and continues on her journey. The next set of memories explores the origin of the prosthetic hunter. One day, while she was out hunting with her younger sister, they noticed smoke and flames rising from their village. The hunter told her sister to stay away and out of danger, and rushed in to help. There she saw that the village was in flames, and bodies were strewn everywhere she looked. A soldier attacked her, but she managed to defeat him. As she cursed the fact that the war in the neighboring countries had come to her home, her sister ran to her side as she'd been worried. The two were then ambushed, and the hunter jumped in front of the soldier's blade to save her sister. When she finally awoke in a prison cell, the hunter saw that she'd lost 2 limbs, which had been replaced by prosthetics, and her once black hair had turned white, because it wouldn't be a NieR game otherwise. The hunter fought her way outside the prison, and the soldiers she defeated repeatedly referred to her as a failed experiment. She understood this to mean that the soldiers were capturing innocent people and turning them into weapons. Fearing the worst had befallen her sister, she pressed on. She emerged into an unknown town, where she heard a familiar voice. She followed it, and found her sister had just killed a young boy, after undergoing the same experiments as her, and being turned into a living weapon. After the hunter put a stop to her sister's rampage, a soldier appeared and cut down the younger sister. Seeing this, the hunter loses control, and kills all the soldiers before walking off, holding her sister's lifeless body. With this set of memories complete, the Girl of Light advances further into the cage. The third set of memories involved the origin of the youth and the mechanical soldier, and how they met. The soldier was locked in a cell, and sat in a chair unmoving, for who knows how long. One day, the youth was thrown into the same cell. Despite being clearly unwell, the youth rejected the mechanical soldier's attempts to help him. However, the mechanical soldier was clearly more stubborn, and fashioned a crude bed for the youth to recover on. The youth gives in, and sits to talk with the soldier for a while. He tells the soldier that he was the crown prince of the kingdom, and asks the soldier's name. The soldier simply replies that his designation is Unit 1. The youth then says he got involved in one of the kingdom's wars after being pressured by his father, the king. However, he regrets his actions, and wants to make it up to the innocent people who have been hurt because of him. The soldier agrees to help, and breaks down the cell door. The two confront the king, who orders the mechanical soldier to kill the disgraced prince. The soldier, for the first time ever, manifests a will of his own and disobeys. Together, the two flee the palace. Whilst completing this set of memories, the Girl of Light comes across an old man, and Mama seems surprised that there's another person there. The old man says that he's been waiting for his mother for a long time, but she hasn't come back. He asks to be put back inside the black scarecrow, but there's nothing Mama and the girl can do for him, so they press on. The following 2 memories are mostly self-contained, and not much is revealed by Mama and the Girl of Light during the interludes. The 4th story follows an assassin named Akeha. This life was not one she'd chosen, but rather one that had been chosen for her. One day, she's sent to kill the heir of a rival clan. After she fights her way in, she prepares to kill the heir. However, the child does not try to run away, and accepts that this is the fate they were born for. The child was not really the son of the clan's daimyo, but rather his daughter, and her only purpose was to die. Upon seeing this resignation, Akeha spares the child, and takes on a large number of soldiers before she is eventually cut down. As she dies, the child asks why she didn't just kill her and escape. Akeha explains that even if she couldn't choose how she lived, she at least wanted to decide how she'd die. The 5th story follows a man scaling a mountain, an adventurer named Argo. In the first memory, a log collapses out from under Argo as he climbs, and he nearly falls. However, he is determined to reach the summit, and then to return to his family, to his daughter and his pregnant wife who are waiting for him at home, and he presses on, even as night falls and the temperature drops. As his hands grow numb from the cold, he makes the final push up the cliff face to the summit. As he nears the top, he slips and falls. But even this does not deter him, and he makes another attempt and reaches the summit. There at the summit, he finds a temple, and sees an impossible sight inside. He finds his wife waiting for him, who welcomes him. Back at Argo's home, his wife and daughter eagerly await his return. While waiting, his wife goes into labor, and they once again reiterate their desire for him to come back. We return to Argo once more, who finds himself surrounded by darkness. He realizes that he hadn't actually gotten up after falling from the cliff, and that the visions of his family were just a dying dream as his life slowly faded away. It's speculated that Argo is the father of the prosthetic hunter and her younger sister, but this is never outright confirmed. We now reach the 6th and final memory that the girl must restore. The girl enters the first scarecrow. We open on a strange monster wandering a broken world. Mama greets the monster and says that this is the last memory and it's a bit different from the others. She explains that this is a place that monsters like you inhabit. The two come across some other monsters of the same type, who seem to be lazing about, playing with dreams. Mama says that these monsters are dream eaters, and by continuously consuming dreams, they can acquire human form. Outside the scarecrow once more, the girl is struck by a splitting headache. Mama says since this memory is deeply connected to the girl, it will be difficult to restore. She explains that a monster is one with an insatiable desire to steal and devour, to become human. They proceed to the next scarecrow, and inside, Mama tells the monster that the pain will only get worse as they get closer to restoring it, and to be careful not to be consumed by their old self. Within the monster are two conflicting emotions, the desire to be human, and the desire to deny this reality. After restoring the memory, the pain for the girl worsens again. Mama reiterates her warning, but the girl presses on to the next scarecrow. Inside, the monster encounters a guard, who asks why the monster concerns itself with the girl, when she's merely a source of sustenance. The monster defeats the guard and moves on. As they move forward, Mama tells the monster that in the past, the monster met a human, devoured their dreams, stole their body, and became human themselves. After restoring this memory, the girl is barely able to walk, and as she makes her way to the last scarecrow, it only worsens. Mama tells the girl that the restorations so far have been penance for the sin she committed. The girl enters the final memory to face the sin that awaits within. The monster faces itself in a mirror, and Mama explains that it met a girl, Fio, and stole her memories to become human, and it did this despite wanting to be friends with her. Without dreams and memories, the girl became a monster in its place, so the original girl is now somewhere in the form of a monster, and the girl we've been following in the cage is the monster that took her place, named Levania. Mama confronts Levania and asks him what his wish truly is, whether he truly wants to become human. Levania answers that he wishes to return Fio back to a normal human once more. We cut to 4 months earlier, when Levania and Fio first met. Fio was apprehensive of him at first, probably because he's a terrifying shadow monster. As Fio was having horrible nightmares, she actually wanted Levania to devour her dreams, and Levania, driven by his natural instinct, was all too happy to oblige. At night when she sleeps, Fio appears in Levania's world. Together the two wander the cage in search of black scarecrows. Within the first scarecrow, the couple at a shopping mall are attacked by giant flowers. The flowers kill their son in front of them, a nightmare that constantly plagues them. Outside the scarecrow, Fio muses that she doesn't know the people in these dreams, but they always end up getting hurt. Levania's minion, the carrier, says that these dreams may be memories that go beyond space and time. The second scarecrow shows that the couple have been drafted to fight the flowers. They have no choice but to follow the orders they're given. After this memory, Fio says she understands what it's like to have no freedom, as a neck brace had been placed on her by law. In the third scarecrow, the husband, who is only known as 063Y, and his wife, F66X, are forced to fight the flowers at the front lines, and are nearly overwhelmed before their comrades arrive to save them. On their way to the next scarecrow, the carrier tells Fio that he's never met anyone who can see these memories in their dreams before. In the final scarecrow, the couple sees their superior ordering their comrades to jump to their deaths. When the couple doesn't follow suit, the officer says that there must be an error, and orders the others to kill the two. The other soldiers' eyes glow red, and they turn on the couple. They are cornered, and the wife is cut down as she pushes her husband out of the way. The husband survives the drop by falling on the bodies of his comrades. The carrier tells Fio that that was enough for the night, and she returns to her world. The next night, the memories of the couples continue. The wife awakens, surprised that she's alive. She makes her way through a dimly lit building and happens across her husband. Levania and Fio travel to the next scarecrow. On the way, Fio tries to learn more about him, but he is aloof and reluctant to give more than one-word answers. In the next memory, the husband shows his wife around the rebellion that he'd joined, before they're attacked by their red-eyed comrades. The couple is victorious, and they put together a plan where they will infiltrate the military's headquarters when they're distracted by the next flower attack. In the next memory, they carry out this plan, and they are confronted by their superior officer in a room filled with prisoners in stasis. The The Superior explains that humans no longer exist, and that they are all clones, with false memories designed to motivate them. As her final test, the wife is ordered to kill her husband. The options of killing herself or dying together with her husband are presented, and whichever choice is taken is noted as saved for further clone development. With this, Fio once again returns to her world, as Levania consumes her dream. The following night, the process repeats again. This time, the memory is one of a boy named Lars, living in a war-ravaged country. One night, his parents are killed by an enemy soldier, as he hides in a wardrobe. As they travel to the next scarecrow, Fio says that she's having a lot of fun with Levania, who seems to be slowly warming up to her. In the next memory, Lars has joined the military for the sole purpose of killing the enemy soldier with his own 2 hands. Fio remarks that revenge as a concept doesn't really make sense to her, and that it's wrong, while Levania says it's only fair. In the next scarecrow, Lars requests to be assigned to the attack unit that's targeting an enemy camp where he suspects that he can find his parents' killer. His captain refuses such a personal reason, and Lars turns his sword on the captain in anger, before storming away. He sneaks away during the night, and arrives at the enemy camp. There, Lars confronts the enemy captain who killed his parents, and stabs him through. The enemy tells him with his dying breath that he's Lars' real father, and he was there to rescue him from the fake parents who had kidnapped him to indoctrinate him. As dawn breaks over Lars and his bloody deed, the memory ends. Levania consumes Fio's dream once more, and tells her it's time to go. She says she wishes she could stay in Levania's world forever, before she heads back. And that is all the complete chapters that have been released so far. More will undoubtedly be released in the future as the story progresses. Now, as for how it connects to the series, it isn't really clear when it takes place. It is notable that the way Levania speaks is very similar to the relapsed gestalts or shades in Replicant. So perhaps the cage and the events within are some aspect of Project Gestalt. One theory I've seen is that they're within the memory tree of the Forced Myth. I've also seen it theorized that it takes place within the arc from the end of Automata, but I'm not too sure about this one. Really, it's hard to tell until the story's complete, so I'll leave off here for now. If you liked the video and you want to see the next part of the story summarized when it comes out, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video.